Well, Setch, it was close scoreline in the end, but damaged on first half.
Yeah, that one, that's flattered us, I think. I've just said to the players, you know, that's a hard one as a manager after Saturday to then watch that first 35 minutes. I mean, that's probably as bad as it's ever been in the 300 and however many games. I remember being 4-0 down against Cambridge City here, but that was right up there. That was real bad, and you know, we got in at half time 3-0, could have been more. And we've come out second half, but the game's dead. You know, I just said to the players, don't let the 2 goals think that you've done well second half, because with that is not nowhere near good enough. Apart from Zalonga and Castellan, no one else reached the levels, and that's as simple as that. And that's painful, that's hurt us, and that's a head scratcher. You know, I'm not very often speechless, but I'm a little bit speechless, if I'm being honest. You know, that's not how I want the team to play. You know, we're not making any excuses. We had 10 players who didn't reach the levels that they reached Saturday, and that's as simple as that. You can't win football matches if you do that.
Yeah, and this aside, who had to travel 5 hours, you think it was the other way round?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, that's a real head scratcher. The goals we give away, I think the first one's offside, I think the 10's offside. I know the other lad's coming back, but I think the 10's offside. Goals do change games, but you know, the second goal was not won the first header and not stayed with runners. I mean, that's under whatever age football. You know, if you don't win the first header and then you don't track runners, and you know, that's disappointing. You know, that was a real disappointing first 35 minutes. And if I'm being honest, I didn't really took too much from the second half either, although we did create the chances to get ourselves back in the game. But again, if you don't finish them, that's as bad as making mistakes at the back. So all in all, that's been a very average night for us. No, not average. That's been a very poor night for us. You
had to shuffle the pack very early, obviously. Lee, is that after effects of Saturday?
Well, we put a lot into Saturday. You know, my skipper's not had his greatest night tonight, but he was magnificent Saturday. There's no two ways about it. You know, he was arguably the best player on the pitch Saturday, and tonight that's not been his night. So you know, sometimes you have to withdraw people, and you know, if they're having a bad night, and he'll come back from that. No two ways about it.
How do you pick the guys up though? It's one step forward, one step back all the time, isn't it?
Pick the guy. I've got to pick myself up first. Yeah, well, that's football management, isn't it? You know, I wouldn't swap positions with Merthyr. You know, we're still 8 points ahead of them. You know, this league's one of them. You know, we've got to come back Saturday, and you know, we took a step back. We'll take a step forward. We'll take a step back, but I can't put my finger on it. You know, to turn in the performance we did Saturday. You know, there's not complacency within the squad. We ain't got a big squad. They're young lads. They're not tired. You know, there's no. You know, we've got probably one of the youngest squads in the league. You can't use tired as the excuse. I can't use the pitches. I can't use any excuses. The only excuse, well, not an excuse. The only reason perhaps is, you know, people think perhaps thought that was going to be too easy tonight. Perhaps turned up with a little bit of a swagger because we've done well at St Neots. Perhaps not give Merthyr the full respect they deserve. You know, players I'm talking about. Perhaps not give Merthyr the full respect they deserve. And in all fairness, we've had a collar spell, haven't we? Because you know, why they looked hungrier than us first 35 minutes, I'll never know. When we're 4 points off the playoffs and they're on the run they are, we need, you know, the team talk was, you know, what we said in the game was, you know, start fast. They've been conceding early goals, which they have. They're on a bad run. If you get an early goal, that'll set them on the back foot. I think they'll give that team talk in their dressing room, because that's exactly what they've done to us. You know, they set us on the back foot, and when you go 2-0 down at Lynn, that's the worst place in the world to play in. You know, the fans get on us back, which rightly so. And that's hard for us then. And then you go into the players hiding up and taking one too many touches, or not putting themselves in the position to receive the ball. The movement's poor, the decision making's poor, scared of making a mistake. And like I said, you know, probably apart from Zalonga and young Castellan who come on, the rest weren't nowhere near good enough tonight.
You mentioned that 4 points. You know, could have narrowed the gap with it, and that's crazy and that's frustrating.
Yeah, and you know, I knew Merthyr were a good side because you know they give us one. You know, for me, them and Weymouth were the 2 best teams we played so far. And you know, again tonight they showed. I don't know why they're in the league position they're in, because you know they're strong in all the areas. They've got strikers who can hurt you. They put the bodies on the line at the back. You know, and Chesham's no different. People look at Chesham and go, "Well, we've got Chesham there 18th. 18th, they beat Bristol Rovers in the first round of the FA Cup." away. You know, they lost a lot of games in that FA Cup run because they was obviously had big games, resting players. You know, they're a top half side. They're one of the sides who should be soaring. So we're in for another heck of a tough game on Saturday. But we've got to come in Thursday. We've got to train hard. You know, we've just had a few good words in there. There'll be a few more good words Thursday, individually, collectively, because I just feel that, you know, the results we've picked up this year and some of the performances. If you took our top 10 results and top 10 performances, we should be top 3. And if you take our bottom 6, bottom 8 performances, we shouldn't have a point. And you know, we've got to get more consistency of that. And we can't make the excuse of they're young players. They're step-free footballers. They're at the football club. They're playing for Kings Lynn. You know, we've got to learn to get consistent. You know, I was looking at the league table over the weekend. We've won the second most games in the league. Out of the whole league pool, I think Chippenham, we're level with Chippenham. One, you know, but we don't turn our losses into draws, and we don't, you know, if we turned 4 or 5 of the losses into draws, we'd be right in the mix, and that's something we've got to do. And tonight's another game. You know, we've scored 2 goals at home and we've lost 3-2. But all in all, that's been a very, very poor night at the office. You know, we thought we got the Ketchum one out of the system, and tonight for the first 35 minutes, that was a lot worse than Ketchum.
Lee Smith comes off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In contention for Saturday, I mean, too early to say?
I wouldn't have thought so. He's pulled his calf, so that's a bit of a blow for us. Obviously, you know, we've perhaps got to look to bring sort of 1 or 2 in, really. Obviously, Connor's now gone. Smithy's probably going to be out for 3 weeks. We're coming into a very important period. We can't afford to let the season. You know, that's a massive game for us Saturday now. That is a huge game for us Saturday. You know, if you win Saturday, you've repaired a little bit of the damage, but you know, we should be looking to kick on now. You know, after St Neots Saturday, that was a perfect platform for us to kick on, and we've fluffed the lines again. And like I said, that's really, really difficult. As manager, I don't know what the supporters think. I'm in amongst the group. I can't put my finger on it, so I'm sure they're scratching their heads as well. And everyone else, you know, connected to the football club, press, everyone, because for those who were there Saturday, you can't believe that was the same 11 players. And I can't make excuses for them. We just didn't hit the levels, apart from probably the 2 I've mentioned.
Can't say any fairer than that.